Hey, dancers, Anthony and Rose. We've got some cool nightclub two-step patterns for you guys today. Not country two-step, nightclub two-step, beautiful country dance. Yes. You'll love this one, so stick around.
Time we touch, I feel at home. There's no way I'd ever let you go. When you put your hands in mine, I know I'm gonna be alright. I don't know what you do to me, but I feel like I am wake up.
Guys, in one of our last X Dancegrams, we asked you guys a question, which is, what would you like to see more of here on the channel? And so many of you guys answered nightclub two-step that we are actually listening to you guys, and we're here doing that. By the way, if you're not on the X Dancegram, click that link right there. You can sign up. We send out videos and tips and lessons and all that kind of stuff. But if you're brand new here at the channel, welcome. But you're gonna notice this little button down here that says subscribe. Now, if you click that button, then you become a Next Dancer and you'll know when all the awesome stuff happens here on the channel. So we're gonna demonstrate the pattern and then we're gonna break it down.
I used to stay up all night trying to find my place, chasing neon lights and looking for some kind of trace to lead me out of darkness.
All right, some things I want to say about nightclub two-step is that there are, number one, there are two versions. Okay, so there's this version that we teach, which is what's predominantly dancing, country dancing, and then there's the other version, which is the original version, which is a rhythm dance. This is a smooth dance, which means it's going to take long gliding steps and the feet come away from the body rather than everything being underneath your body. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna start with a basic, and just like everything else that we teach in nightclub, we're gonna have the leader start with the right foot, follower start with the left foot, and we're gonna step to the side for slow. We're gonna bring those feet together kind of into a third position, and then we cross. Now we're gonna be doing some partner pivots. Now our direction is now in this direction, and we're gonna try to keep that up as we step around her for slow, quick, quick, all right? So one thing we got to talk about with partner pivots is that she's going to step between my feet and then I'm going to step in between her. So if we actually have this where we come around, she's going to be stepping in between my feet. So if you look at her feet, they're in between mine. And as we turn around, I'm stepping in between her feet. Let's show you that close up. All right, so we step to the side for slow, come together for quick, and cross for quick. Now I'm going to be rotating my body around her, and you'll notice as I do, she actually steps in between my feet. For slow, I keep my feet in between hers. For quick, quick. Now we'll show you that again a little bit faster. That's going to be slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick. Guys, before you try this, I can already tell you what you're gonna have problems with. One of the most difficult things about this pattern, and one of the things that people have the most trouble with, is actually those partner pivots and actually making them continue to travel, okay? They're just like pivot turns, except for you're doing them with a partner, so we call them partner pivots. We're not rotating around in one circle, we're actually moving. So once we start, those partner pivots are going to continue on that line. So if you watch us do that together, it's slow. Now we're moving in that line so that when we do those partner pivots, we're getting enough rotation to continue to move, all right? That is going to be probably the most difficult thing about this for a lot of you guys. So just make sure you get enough rotation. I'm all about cheating whenever possible.
How dare you?
I just want to make things as simple as possible. So if I know I have a lot of rotation coming, I go ahead and set it up in the beginning, get enough rotation in the beginning to where the rest of it's going to be easier, because a lot of you it's going to kind of fizzle out and you're not going to get enough rotation at the end. So here's the trick to doing that. When I come around her, I go ahead and start looking over that right shoulder. So when I step around, I'm actually stepping not only around her, but I'm also looking around that corner. Now you don't have to do that with your head, but with your shoulders already starting to rotate. As much as you can get in the beginning of that turn, the easier the end of the turn is gonna be. That's a little trick. Just cheat whenever possible, make it, not in your marriage, by the way.
Not in your marriage. Another thing is make sure that you have that opposition with your partner. So followers, make sure that you're really in that hand of his. Don't lean back, you're carrying your own weight, keep it pulled up, but have that opposition. That's gonna help that energy, that centrifugal force, is that a thing?
That's the word, that's the right word.
Keep it moving down that way.
Yeah, so if you think of like putting water in a bucket and you're holding the bucket, if you were to be able to swing the bucket enough, you could keep the water in the bucket. That's what we want. We want that centrifugal force to be moving away from each other. So you don't want to be kind of hovering on top of each other. You want to kind of think about stretching away from each other so that it's like the water in the bucket. So if you show you that again, that's slow, quick, quick. Now I'm going to get as much rotation with my shoulders around her as possible, so the rest of that will be much easier. If you're having trouble at the end of that, it's probably the beginning that's not set up the right way. And that goes not just for this pattern, but for all things. If you're having trouble with something, don't try to fix the thing that seems broken. Try to fix what happened before it, because something set it up for failure, okay? we've got to get enough rotation there so that on that last slow, we can actually lead that ronde. Let me show you the ronde close up. All right, guys, so we have slow, quick, quick. Now I'm going to be stepping around. Now we've got our pivot turns, which is going to finish in a ronde, which we're going to talk about now. So we have slow, quick, quick. Now you'll notice my foot is still in between her feet, but I'm going to actually give her a little bit of a push for slow, and she lands behind. All right, guys, ronde. She's stepping in between my feet, and now we're gonna lead her for that ronde. You'll notice I step in between her feet, but I open the upper body and I send her through for that ronde. Now, one thing you gotta know about rondes is rondes have that same water in a bucket thing, so everything's gonna be spread out. So you ever did Ring Around the Rosie when you were a kid, where you were like leaning away from each other and we're doing this? Yeah, so it's kind of like that. So what happens is the body opens and you have that stress. So if you watch that again, she steps in between my feet, and then we have an expansion on that side of the body, and there needs to be some amount of weight. So leaders, you've got to be ready to support her weight, because that leg's going to have a lot of momentum and a lot of stretch that's coming out
and
that way.
followers are feeding off of that connection there, so make sure that you're giving enough, because it's not going to be two separate motions. She's going to feed off of that, and that leg coming around is just going to be an extension of that movement.
Yeah, so you are going to actually, so when you're doing your partner pivots, your body are pretty much parallel to each other, but when you do that ronde, what happens is I'm expanding that side of the body so that now we create a V shape, and you can actually use that. You're going to counterbalance her leaders a little bit to where her weight's going that way, my weight's going this way, but we give her that space on that side of the body. So if we watch that one more time, she steps in between my feet. This is the end of those partner pivots, and now I'm stepping in between her and expanding that out until that foot lands behind.
Coming around and crossing behind with the toe pointed.
Yeah, that is going to last for that entire slow. The ronde is slow and it lands on quick. So let me show you that added on to the rest of the stuff. All right, so if we add that ronde on to the end, it looks like this: slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, and on that last turn we step between the legs. She extends that out for slow. We hook behind for quick, quick, slow, and now we're facing forward. The last thing that we're gonna do is a free spin. These are pivots, so it's half, half, quarter. So we have half, half facing each other for quarter, and that's the finish of the patterns.
All right, followers, so let's talk about the ronde. This is your moment to shine right now, so let's make this nice and pretty. So when you're doing this, don't feel like you have to bring it up as high, especially in social scenarios. Sometimes it's a little intimidating because you don't know what people are around.
Don't kick people in the face.
Don't kick sweet grandmas in the face doing this. You can keep this nice and low, okay? When you're doing this, make sure that your core is nice and engaged, because this is fast and you can get kind of thrown off center. So engage your core, engage your thigh muscles. Practice this alone, all right? Don't rely on your partner. Be able to do this by yourself, but you can keep this nice and low. Think of drawing a half circle with your foot, toe nice and pointed, and it can be as low as possible and still beautiful. So we're gonna demonstrate this.
Yeah, so when she comes in, like the followers, you can do it kind of in the middle, and that would be totally fine. Now, if you're more comfortable with it, there's not a lot of room, like you could keep it down and almost like sweep the floor with your foot, that would be totally fine. If you're doing a performance, obviously you can bring that thing great big, but yes, again, like all things, we don't really suggest doing a lot of that stuff when you're social dancing and you're kung fu kicking people in the head.
And for the leads, this is really, with all things, you want to have a general understanding of the floor and kind of where people are at, but especially with this, because we're turned in and then we come out, we don't have a moment to be like, okay, is everything good? So that helps.
Yeah, and this is partly the leader's responsibility too. I mean, if you know there's a whole bunch of people over there, just don't lead the ronde. Maybe at that moment, that'd be probably a better choice.
Because then we look bad, so we appreciate it.
Yeah, they're mad at her when really it's partly your fault. Okay. So if we show you this again from the beginning, we have slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, and then you have your slow, keep that rhythm for quick, quick, slow, straight rhythm again for quick, quick, slow. One thing I can say about the end of things in a nightclub is that when you're when you're wanting to come back into a closed position, she doesn't always know that, right? I mean, she can't read your mind. So a lot of times when you finish that turn, you're gonna have to bring yourself a little bit closer. So if we show you that from this side, when we do that pivot turn, we have a certain amount of space between us that if we just turned, I couldn't reach her to get her into dance position, but we've got to create that. So if we wanted to finish that into a closed position, leaders, you might have to go quick, and then bring yourself to her a little bit to finish at
And
that
ladies,
side.
keep your arms up here so he can have access to your back.
Yeah, you want to make your parts available, the parts that are appropriate to have, okay?
What do we say? You like that.
Yeah, so it's like, here I am. But no, you want to actually have your sides available. Don't just hang it out. And it looks a lot better too, because everything in nightclub is big and flowy and
Open.
takes up a lot of space and all that stuff. So you're making your back available to him through here. All right, guys, we're going to talk you through this one piece at a time, and then we're going to send you guys on
Break it
your
down.
way. So we start to the side, and we have a slow together cross. Then I'm going to begin to come around by lowering that hand, and I'm going to look over that shoulder for slow, quick. I've stepped between our feet, she stepped between mine, and now we have that ronde. We separate on that side, and slow, quick, slow. So you notice we're both facing the same wall. We have our partner pivot, our pivot turns, I'm sorry. We have half, and we come together for a side, and then we're done. All right, guys, we're gonna demonstrate this to music a few times. Before we do, we want your opinion on something. We just reinvented X Dance. So click that link right there. That's xdance.com. We got a completely rebuild of the site. It is now a virtual dance studio. So again, we're gonna demonstrate this music a couple times, and then we'll see you guys next time.
Every time we touch, I feel at home. That's the way I'd ever let you go. When you put your hands in mine, I know I'm gonna be alright. I don't know what you do to me, but I feel like I am.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. She loves me. Guys, we mentioned.
What are we doing?
Send out daily lessons and tips and inspiration and all that stuff.
Inspiration.
But we sent out a survey a while back, and we asked somebody. Better ask somebody. You better ask somebody. Moral of the story is, boys and girls, before being in close proximity, as in dancing, don't eat a bunch of hard-boiled eggs right before. If you watch those, you would think, he probably beats his wife.
Yeah. All right.